Look towards Crimson Dennis on the CT side, so I'm going to do it one up at a time. But of course, fnatic are starting on the T side, not a CT side, so we'll get some picks in due course. But for now comes a pistol round. Olofmeister making his way towards that position at Banana. Hobbit taken down in isolation. Meus on the rotation already though. Sees Youth taking some frags elsewhere, peppering, firing missiles down mid. But 4 Swedish players head towards the bomb site. There are only 2 CTs here.
Yeah, the rotation's coming in quickly, and Gambit need to be careful to try to make sure they can play off of each other here. You can see Adren, really cheeky stuff there. Mo is already just shooting off with the USP. Gets 1 kill, 1 headshot for him onto Olofmeister, but these T's will make their way across. Dozy with 1 through the smoke. That's always a nice and very fortuitous pickup. And now the bomb, there's too much pressure to really plant it here for Gambit. And so Gambit really are in a spot where they don't have to move. And you can see they understand that. They can hold their positions. It's down to fnatic to make the move onto that bomb plant.
And that bomb is planted firmly to the floor by the CTs, dropping JW, leaving Crims alone, and he won't get anything done. That's 3 of 3 pistols won so far by Gambit. That's going to be a problem moving forward for fnatic. So since fnatic are on the starting on the T side, I'm going to pick Dennis, and I'm going to pick JW specifically post plant if he gets into such positions. I think Mo will be important on the CT side for Gambit in this, and Adren is never a bad look. So let's see what the T's will do in this round. Money's been spent on pistols. That is a perfect Molotov. Olofmeister on the wrong end of that would be very costly to run through it. 3 CTs towards A. It's just getting his bell run, but not for much damage. He's lucky, or is he? Taken down by Crims.
And now it's Mo trying to just get something in there with that scout. Unlucky though, it's going to be down to the SMGs that remain now for Gambit, and they are relying on Dozier to stay alive in this position. If he can do that, then the flanks can be really effective, and that's fantastic there. That's going to cause a lot of commotion towards Library. Now they have to worry about Adren towards that position. Dozier still a presence as well. The health here on fnatic means that life is very difficult. The bomb goes down in the apartments, and they all start to fall like dominoes. It's just Dennis left with the M4 here. A very awkward affair for him, and one which will not go all too well. It's Gambit's round. They survive with 3, which is a great result.
A question of damage towards the end. No plants just yet for fnatic. Third eco will be on the way, and this one is likely to be pure Glocks. Firing potatoes in this round, fnatic. This is a money-making round for Gambit, or at least they will hope it will be. SMGs quite firmly still in play. You see Meus holding on to just the Tech 9 because he needs that extra money for the AWP. And that's a common grenade that you used to see on old Inferno as well. I think it bounced off the window there, but it's supposed to bounce off the wall in second mid. So if anybody's running up second mid, they'll get tagged by it. Somehow Zeus dives to a Glock and gives up an M4. What on earth just happened?
Yeah, that's a bit strange, isn't it? He must have been dinked a couple of times or something like that. We'll see though whether Gambit can just hold steady, hold strong, and obviously Dennis is going to be hard pressed to make the best use of it, just due to the fact that the situation on the armor is not perfect. There is no armor, so the aim punch is going to be pretty brutal. So he needs to get that, that strong first bullet accuracy if he wants to have a hope in winning some of these 1 versus 1s. And Gambit are just giving up most of the map towards A, and this due to the fact that they have deep positions on Banana. It allows them to do that. They're going to force fnatic into close ranges, but that might not be what Gambit really wants, considering that they're running in with these pistols. But Hobbit, he's going for an aggression. There's some nice sniping with an MP9 of all things.
Nice makeshift flashbang as well. This is a really important cleanup. I don't know how Zeus managed to lose his M4, why he's even being aggressive in that situation when he's one of 2 people of 5 with a primary gun, well, a primary rifle, if you will. Everyone else on SMGs, but crisis averted. Mo saved for the AWP, and Mo gets the AWP. fnatic starting with the AKs. Flusher will be on the UMP, and Grenades didn't quite have the money for everything he wanted. So this is how we begin. The UMP onto Dozier. The UMP proved to be a problem for Dozier on the B bomb site. He was playing aggressive with it. He was doing a lot of things, or trying to, but with mixed success. And again, Dozier will continue his aggression, looking into apartments where fnatic are headed. No strangers to apartments are the fnatic side.
There's some noise being made here around second mid, but I'm not sure that anyone's close enough for Gambit to hear that. They know that fnatic are very scary on these entries, and the apartments is very T-sided these days, so Dozier will eventually fall back out of his position, and we're in a similar spot where, you know, they're holding on to an SMG, a couple SMGs, so should Gambit find a way to win this round, it'll be very potent for their economy. And Adren with a great peek there, taking down Olofmeister, and look at the information they have now. They know that Banana's clear. They're going to rotate everybody pretty much back to A, but will it be in time?
55 seconds, you see the Molotovs out to slow down the Ts, and the Ts can have a read on what the CTs are trying to do by expending so much utility. Is there a way for fnatic to make a rotation? Do they realize what these grenades mean at this point in the game? 2 flashes of smoke, that's what remains here for the CT side. But maybe coming in, but Zeus again not really getting much done. Adren gets taken down as well. This could work out for fnatic.
Yeah, just 2 players left, and it is really fast falling apart here for Gambit. It's not an off shot you can miss. And now Hobbit in a 1 versus 4. That's all he can do really here is to do some damage. They have some money though to Gambit, so this isn't the end of the world. But this is definitely going to go a long way here for fnatic, as they sorely needed to get rid of some of that Gambit money, and they put themselves on the board straight away, which is, again, a very crucial fact, because when Gambit were getting momentum on that train, it started to look pretty scary.
Zeus is having a nightmare of a game at the moment. Yeah. Bearing in mind, he was the person trying to keep Hobbit in the right frame of mind on train. When he is having calamities at the start of Inferno, who is there to keep him in focus? Gambit with 3 players towards the B box side, looking for a full take. The train will have to be careful. Molotovs can spread after a few seconds. And you can see Banana is not quite there, so it could be led into a false sense of security. That flashbang is too short, but a great shoulder pick from Hobbit. That was absolutely perfect. Olofmeister taken down.
Now fnatic start to make their way towards a JW in the apartments, looking to perhaps get a play out the balcony, but there is of course a smoke there to obscure his vision. And Dozier's position there as well is really smart, just standing on that balcony. He's actually going to drop back off now, but it's a very good spot to hold here for Gambit, and they've got, once again, all hands on deck here to defend towards the A site. Once again, Gambit are always in great positions from an information perspective. They know that fnatic are basically going to commit to A at this point, because they have Hobbit there, just chilling at the top of Banana, just taking cursory glances down, and fnatic desperate for a way in.
Hobbit's still holding a grenade, a smoke grenade, and I think it's time to throw it. He's jump peeking, he's waiting for something, but he just needs to deploy it at this point. There are 35 seconds left, get the smoke out. He sees Flusher and runs away, holding a smoke in his hand. Curious stuff. He wants to plant it deeper, it seems. He wants to be more desperate on time, but desperation will push fnatic towards the A site, where they are so hungry for these kills. The CT's trying double pick, but it's 3 kills for the T's. It falls apart again for fnatic, for Gambit, sorry. Mo stuck in a crossfire on the side, trying to delay the spray. It will be good enough. What a hero play from Mo. Back and forth these rounds, but it goes the way of Gambit, resetting fnatic. 4-1 start for the CTs.
One absolute god. That's, again, he looks just making the perfect play there with that continuation spray. Understanding this to be a player, looking for that trade immediately. So smart. Mo is just having an amazing set against fnatic so far. And I mean, you never expect him in this position to get so many kills. How on earth does he manage to pull this one off? Gambit really looked like they were in so much trouble there.
He's so calm as well. Yeah. He's like, yeah, this is fine.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Look at this, these weapons from fnatic. Deagle and a Tech 9 and a couple AKs. No grenades really, just a couple smokes, 1 flashbang. fnatic are going to have something a bit crazy happen for them to make good of this, but it's Hobbit there just pushing them all the way back on Banana. Great start from him.
Oh, Mo caught with a grenade in his hand. Perhaps a warning for him. Repositioning towards the library is Mo, and that's going to waste some more time for fnatic. A fnatic who are short on options at the moment, but that's one way to get some back. Krim spraying Hobbit down through the smoke, but he can't push too far. He has the bomb. Meanwhile, Dennis and JW forcing the CTs back towards A, and it seems they may commit to it, or will they?
So it's down to Adren then, is it? The anchor on the B-bomb side at the moment, just at the back, waiting patiently
at the back
for the push to arrive. He does have a floater coming his way. It's Meus making that rotation, but it's going to be very hard, and Adren is isolated. The smoke's done its job, but will Adren be able to do his job in this position? Get a frag, create delay. He's now got his teammate in tow, Mo, there coming in from the coffins. That's a great first shot, so precise. The bomb's been spotted, it's down, and the rotation comes in. JW to respond back, though.
Dennis is in the construction, taking Adren down, an unexpected angle, a very important creep. Dozier making his way towards CT, but again, Dozier's on a UMP. UMP seems to be his best friend at the moment. Look at that gap in the smoke. That may run distraction because Zeus is making his way up from Banana. He has a better gun. He's got an AK-47. He's got a kit as well. No grenades for any of these players. No flashes, molly smokes, nothing is left. Dozier peeking, trying to create space, but Zeus a close one, but JW not quite on the mark. He has support, he has a crossfire with Dennis, but Dennis is trying to hold down construction while Zeus makes his way in. Almost stereo frags for fnatic, they make it work. Going back to Mo's rotation, he had two options. He was over towards CT, he had a flashbang and a smoke. He could have flashed into pool, but Adren didn't quite have the angle. There was nothing he could do in that situation, so he chose to not reveal his position, move around to construction and help out that way. But the flank from Dennis, the rotation through construction, maybe won the round there for fnatic.
Yeah, very, very close up there. And already Gambit making use of a tactical timeout to discuss the situation. Obviously, they're in a position now where their economy is completely ruined. They've just been reset, and they all have between like $1,400 to $2,800. It's not a good look for Gambit. So I think what we want to avoid seeing here is just an overinvestment from Gambit. They need to be able to have strong buy rounds, have all the grenades. We've seen how effective they've been when they can go aggressive on Banana and really get that information, and it's really helped them always have good rotations. So to continue that, they're going to need the grenades. So I'm curious what the investment will be here, and they are going to go for a force buy and see what damage they can do.
Man, this force buy sucks.
Could be worse. At least there's some UMPs in there.
Some UMPs, some CZs, and the odd bits and bobs. Lots of people towards second mid, and that's where you might see those grenades bouncing off the wall on second mid, but no. fnatic are bouncing through mid, straight into the long position. You used to see this from some North American teams as well, back in the day. So far, so good, with man advantage for the T's, but Dozier and Adren are still causing problems. Dozier with that almost infamous UMP, making it 2 versus 2. Hobbit in Banana needs to get his rotation on, but they could be coming to B from CT. But now the information spotted Dozier! He did not know anything about that second kill, but it goes away. Just too much sex god oozing from every orifice. That was a weird one. 5-2 in favor of Gambit. What a way to get a two-man spray down there.
That is insane, isn't it? What do you say about that one? That is just so ridiculous. As he's falling down, oh, there's the last bullet, of course.
Oh, I killed the last one too.
Just look at the surprise there. The funny thing is, from like we were seeing
like,
Dozier.
You cannot be serious.
Dozier didn't react though when that happened. He's like, yep, seems about right. Seems about right.
He's too cool, man. He is all too cool. fnatic, 4 people again into second mid, but this time, Dan, they've got pistols.
Yes, they have. Very dangerous with that, and it looks like they're going to try to hammer into that A bomb site. And we have Gambit rotating Adren all the way back towards A. So Gambit will have players to deal with this, but the very fast-moving Tech-9s can always provide difficulty, especially with the aid of flashbangs. But Adren gets one, falling back now as they jump across the corner. That's a good result from Adren, though.
Crim's in the arch position. What can he do with this? Zeus with the UMP. That's not going to work out for him. It is a force buy after all. Most of these players have got their Kevlar. Almost all the CTs towards the A bomb site. Hobbit with a slower approach. Mo around the corner from Arch. Dozier in the pit. What is the play from fnatic? Almost resetting the situation, slowing things down. Spotting one CT, but Gambit don't have much information. Hobbit runs all the way back to the B bomb site. They really don't know what to expect. 35 seconds for fnatic. The longer they wait, perhaps the more the defense on A will be spread thin.
Yeah, it's a really good way to approach the situation. Use that time, you've got it. Oh, nice stuff there from Dozier. Rocking the UMP, and everybody falls down. Good work indeed from Mo2 in the middle area. fnatic having a struggle at the moment. Putting rounds on the board against Gambit, but they will be also in a situation where they don't have an opportunity, really, a good one, to get any rounds on the board right now because they don't have any money. So Gambit are gaining some momentum here, and this is a good round for them to build some bank because Gambit have been taking some heavy hits as well. They're not even in a position to be thinking about an AWP right now. Mo is dirt poor at the moment, as is the rest of his teammates, more or less.
Gambit with the anti-eco play, grenade flying down the mid area. It is not safe to be here. They are laying down the mine. Dozier hearing plays in apartments, but Mo has got the angle. There is use in the cleanup. Brief round for fnatic and Gambit. They don't need to hunt anymore. They can take a somewhat normal formation, or they can just clean out Crims. They can purify the map of fnatic players, sweep them out one by one. A brief round. We come back onto the buy. 4.5k for most of the fnatic players, and that means AKs.
Yeah, Dozier just on a 12 or 13 kills and 3 deaths at the moment. Easy for Dozier, it seems. That one clutch with the UMP is actually ridiculous. If you think of
it's hilarious.
And this is what I was really looking forward to in this matchup, is the clutch situations, just because this is a great map where, you know, where it just really delivers you really exciting action in that sense. We had one insane one from Mo in a similar position, kind of back against the wall, multiple players, somehow against all the odds makes it work. Dozier with another clutch in a similar way, as mentioned, and those two clutches are so crucial into this 7-2 that we see now.
Zeus looks to proceed with the MP9. I don't think this is going to go well for him, I've got to be honest, but we shall see what he chooses to do. Oh, he's heading towards the B bomb site. Oh, they have started with 3 towards B at the beginning of some of these rounds in case of an early aggression, but as you can see, fnatic quite favor the second mid approach. Molotovs will be deployed, and Gambit may be successful in a banana take. In the meantime, perhaps fnatic might have a read that there are 3 towards B at the beginning of these rounds, but what can they do about it? Not much with a smoke down in apartments.
And I still feel really impressed by Gambit's just never really giving up on banana and always making sure that they get the information there. Some teams just give it up completely. They're too afraid to take it. But fnatic haven't really responded in just battling back for it. Generally speaking. And you can look at the positions now for Gambit. They've got Hobbit really deep on banana. There's Dren still there to support him. So sure, fnatic have top mid, but all the information and the fast rotations and flanks are there for the Gambit side.
fnatic have, though, forced the CTs back towards A, which means a guessing game. And Gambit are running out of grenades. We see the isolation smokes go down towards the long A position. Mo can't see anything. If he was towards Arch, it would be awkward for him. So he is denied information, and the spray will reveal the position he's playing. And maybe fnatic can read more into the rest of the CTs thanks to that spray, but surely they can't expect to use up close because he's got the MP9 hiding behind that barrel. Might be full of wine, but now the floor is full of crimson. He gets taken down by JW, and they are not scoring the side. They're going back, but there are 20 seconds. What are they doing?
Yeah, massive risk here, and Adren stops Olofmeister. This kind of just stops the play entirely. Olaf needed to get that kill against Adren, but Adren can now hold this position for as long as he can. 13 seconds. Actually, this might be possible now for fnatic. Adren, can he stop the plant from going down? Trying to take one fight. He knows he has to stop the plant. He can't get it in time. It's so close. And now it's down to Dozier. In a 1 versus 4, he's able to swap for an AK, but still the odds couldn't be more against him.
That spray was everything from Adren. He understood the situation. You saw he didn't try to take a fatal engagement, just wanted to see where the bomb planter was. Found him, but can't quite land that fatal bullet. So close, but no cigar for that one. Third round, a desperate third round on the board for fnatic. So much momentum going the way of Gambit, but they don't have a lot of cash, Gambit. These have been some expensive rounds for them. They can buy going into the next round. Dozier sitting on $7,400. But the comeback can be on for fnatic. Another tactical timeout, this time from Gambit.
Yeah, and it really goes to show how important it is to have a lot of players alive when you're in this kind of situation that fnatic is in, because if they went down to one player, they're in a spot where if they do get reset, there's just no chance to fight back, and Gambit have already got so many rounds that could be really, really bad. But obviously now they have an extra bit of leeway should the worst happen in this situation. But as you mentioned, there is enough on Gambit to get the AWP into play, and we haven't really seen too much in the way of AWPs, to be honest, especially not from Mo just yet, because Gambit's economy, even though they've been winning rounds, has just been getting absolutely hammered, and oh, this was so close. But it feels almost as though it's about time that fnatic get a bit of fortune, considering the kinds of clutches we've already seen from the Gambit side.
Adren knows he is much better than that. Lost from the first bullet onwards. 4 rounds between the two teams, and only 2 plays will start on the... Wait, Zeus is AFK. Zeus is completely AFK in spawn, and he's just leaving now. Okay, seems everything's fine. He'll be playing the library position. Maybe he's got no choice. Not sure what he was doing, but he is where he is. So the AWP is indeed in the game. Okay, Zeus and Moda exchanging positions now. Zeus on the side, and it's time to move quickly. Dozier doesn't have time to get the kill. Zeus perfectly poised to support. Mo's there as well, but he's going to get taken down. Look at these trades! Down to the 2-1-2. Rotation from the CCs through CC spawn.
Yeah, and the money is so bad for Gambit. This is a must-win for them. They don't want to be reset, and we can see them starting to come in now with these M4s. Only a single smoke here for Hobbit. That could make the difference, though, if it's placed well. Might be forced into a throw soon. They're both interested in coming through the library position and not in splitting up just yet. Very hard to deal with Dennis in this spot right now, able to just crouch behind this cover, play the headshot angles. You don't know when he's going to peek up. Beautiful use of the smoke to nullify that position. Try to isolate Olofmeister here. As Olof goes around the crate, gets himself one onto Hobbit, and they play it perfectly to fnatic as they put their 4th round on the board, and indeed, the money is all gone for Gambit, more or less.
Hand in hand, like a pair of figure skaters, fnatic with a beautiful finish to that round. Some nice teamwork from them. Loss bonus is not spectacular for Gambit. They'll get 2,400 for losing this round, but that should be enough for them to buy in the next one. They'll try to keep things dangerous with the purchase of some CZs, Deagle onto Dozier. Normal format in the sense that there are no more than 3 people on either bomb site, but Zeus and Hobbit have gone for a walk. Perhaps a trilogy in 3 parts. Maybe JW will make it a short story.
This is very, very expected, I think, sometimes, seeing those pistols in the apartments. Oh my, what is going on right there? Dozier been paid off taking down Zeus, but Hobbit in the distraction able to find himself a kill onto second mid. Now this gets a bit interesting, as there's 2 players for Gambit on the B bomb side at the moment, and it might be very convincing for fnatic to go that way, because that's the only thing that they know about, essentially. They have banana control, that's all the map control they really have. It'd probably be too risky now, just as 3 players, to try to venture towards the A side of the map, so...
Problem is, in this situation, fnatic will be thinking, Gambit are everywhere in the apartments towards A, so there's a reasonable chance they stack the B bomb site. So we could, there's no good option for fnatic at this point. Whatever they choose, it will be a gamble, and they've chosen B, and indeed 3 players will be at the B bomb site for the CT, so Dozier's on the outside. Adren taken down will make life easier. It is only pistols on these players. Mo with the USP. Oh, he's going to ring Crimson's belt more than once. That's Crim's down, and now he can run distraction, but Dozier can't get anything fatal, leaving Hobbit in banana versus 2. The bomb still has to go down. He can use that to try and guarantee a 1 versus 1, and he's picked up an AK.
Oh my god, Hobbit might have a perfect situation if they line up for him, but he's playing the angle smart, looking for a peek. Hobbit knows what's up at the moment. It's all a matter of patience and focus as he looks for the first kill, and look how much he's just playing with him. Oh man, Hobbit's so good. Can't get the next one though. The aim punch too dangerous there from Olofmeister. And fnatic, they win the round, but only with a single player left standing there. That was a close one. And if you consider that Gambit only had pistols.
Yeah, boy, did he make them pay for that. And if you look at the money that will be left on both teams after they have brought everything up in this round, this is going to be a big round to see who has a great chance of taking things down. Zeus in good spirits, that is great to see, especially from your captain when you just shot your captain in the head.
Olaf going to start things off with a pick towards Banana, and that's really important against Gambit. Again, we mentioned how good Gambit have been at just taking control towards Banana. It's one of the first rounds where they're not going to have information there. So fnatic with a perfect start, Adren down to 17 as well. He's looking to get the entry. Lovely duel there from Zeus, though, and a much-needed frag here to even things up. Wow, even goes better for them. Dennis tries to trade, but he fails. And where does this leave fnatic?
They've dug themselves out of deeper holes, that's for sure, the fnatic side. And that is one of their great strengths, is the ability to make plays in difficult situations. Never quite out of a round are fnatic. And they've got time to play with. 1 minute on the clock. Flusher looking for answers to questions towards B. Meanwhile, some of his team are deep towards long. But there's no one there, and they may wonder why. And Mo on the Speedway might be the answer. JW passed the angle, but he has a good read, good awareness on what the situation might be. The bomb rotating now. Zeus has got a lot to do, but I think he's revealed his position with a jump already. Slowly but surely, fnatic creep in, but CT's got to buy time for his teammates in CT spawn.
That's an awkward angle to try to play off of those headshot positions, and just like Gambit, they don't want any part of this. Again, their money is really not in the best place, to be honest, so they're going to try to save these guns. And with the round loss bonus approaching $2,900 in this lost round for the Gambit side, they can try to drop 2 guns, the 2 surviving players, and have 4 players on rifles. Well, 3 rifles, 1 AWP, and maybe 1 unlucky soul relegated to perhaps a UMP at best. But that is still a very workable situation. The only issue might be some grenades, but fnatic, taking some momentum here, really looking good to perhaps make it look like the first map change. We thought it was all going fnatic's way, then all of a sudden we get a 7-8 scoreline. This could be the same story here.
Could be a mirror. Gambit just 1 round in the lead now. Awkward for their money this round, but it seems they're going to buy around it. They're going for the 9-6 Gambit. The UMP's coming out once again. Dozier with 14 kills, offering good support for his teammates' youth from the pit position. I'm sure that's where he's headed once again. So you seem to be going towards the... Okay, Zeus was going towards B, then he's going towards A. Now he's going back towards the B bomb site. Close, awkward, and taken down Adren. Big gap in that smoke, and it will cause them problems early.
I wonder if Adren decided to make the play because he heard the collision sound of the grenade onto Olafmeister there. That grenade, so important. Really weird spot here for the Gambit side. Mo definitely wants to try to get a play in for his team here, try to even things up, not allow fnatic to just run around where they have a 5 versus 4, trade into a bomb site. That's really the worst case scenario for Gambit, but how do you get an edge back in this situation? If you push out and die, then the round is going to feel like it's basically over at that point. Gambit do have control over the information on Banana once again, though, and so they have 3 players on A as the adjustment. But will fnatic go that way? They've already shown that they are very capable of going for very late round double backs to B.
Hobbit trying to get some cheeky peeks in towards B, and again, you see him holding his smoke, which he would prefer to drop a bit higher on. He's got to be careful now. Noise is being made, gets around the corner just in time, but will fnatic force their way through this smoke? Again, it's a bad smoke. These smokes not really working out for Gambit at the moment, but that will. He's got some flashes coming in towards the pull position. Only good for the 1 kill though. What does Zeus do? He's by the smoke. There's a flank coming in from the T's as well. This could collapse. We've got flanks on flanks. Then there's one behind him as well. This is going either way. Mo takes Dennis down. He's the last flanker. Now the 1 versus 2 with both T's on the sites.
Oh, gets caught by Olafmeister though, unfortunately for him, and it's 7-7. fnatic tying things back up, and indeed, that double back towards Banana, it's been pretty successful for the fnatic on multiple occasions. Playing these really slow and drawn out rounds, especially when Gambit were in a position where they were down 1 man. It's really a very awkward spot to be in, so I have to see if Gambit can make a play here. Mo is going to be playing the AWP with no Kevlar, so It's very risky for him to play aggressively, because if he meets any grenades, he's likely going to get screwed. So we'll see how it goes for Mo here in the opening stages of this round. Ooh, Zeus down to 50 health there, jumping straight across middle.
Very cheeky indeed. That would normally suggest a play through Boiler, perhaps towards the balcony position. Not often you see that jump being made in a professional match without any peeking, but there it is. And again, Hobbit on his own towards Banana. And you can see that smoke he's been deploying has been inconsistent and costly, but there are no more smokes left for the CT side, apart from the one on Zeus, and he's over towards A, deep in the site himself. Now we've seen it was more common on old Inferno when you see a smoke on the site itself. But I don't really see much of that at the moment on new Inferno. It can cause problems for a T side when they have time pressure and can buy time. But here we are, the last round of the first half. mais top mid on his own with the AWP. The rest of his team making inroads towards B.
Gambit playing the crossfire, playing the defense without going too aggressive here. And Flusher spots one. Repositioning coming in there from Hobbit into the back of the bomb site. Adren still close with the mag 7 and first oranges. He is going to be quite key here. How much can he get from this position? They're starting to move in. They find the angle though. Adren unable to get much here. Same story for Hobbit. Zeus rushing to their aid, but he's too slow and he gets removed by Crims as well. And now it's just Dozier and Mo against 4 players on the retake.
Got to go for this. It's the last round. Choice has been taken away. And Flusher will take Mo away, leaving Dozier in a horrible position, but only for a few seconds. Lovely headshot from Flusher to give fnatic an 8-7 lead moving into the second half.
So yeah, basically the same story as the first map on that first half. Very, very close. Impossible to tell which way this one's going to go at this point. But Gambit always very enjoyable to watch on that T side. A lot of funky plays is what I'm looking to see out of them. The same can be said for fnatic. I mean, you can get quite aggressive on this map. And again, you might see JW do ridiculous things like pushing apartments with an AWP, something which is way less common these days, just because the apartments are so much more dangerous than they used to be.
It's interesting the prevalence of UMPs we have seen on the CT side of Gambit. I know that's just gone now, but I do wonder if the damage drop-off update has hurt them, because they haven't had much success with those. But anyway, perhaps the UMP nightmare has gone for Gambit. We'll see what their T approach is when it comes. But for now, it's pistol time for both teams. Dennis, quite infamous as a complete mentalist on pistol rounds, looking for some openings, looking to abuse the range of his USP, but nothing doing just yet.
And Gambit looking for that play up the banana area. And the danger might be JW. If he can get a clean pop before they move in, that's very devastating. Oh, just trying to peek there. With that deagle is Adren. It's Flusher though, starts things off. JW might be looking to get his head back in there as well for some peeks. And it's Zeus able to shut JW down. Flusher forced to go back in towards construction. Hobbit's got a bullet with his name on it. And now a plant can, or should be able to go down. But actually the bomb is in a really weird position. It's going to be impossible to collect.
Dozier taking Dennis down eventually, but indeed it is very awkward. Facing the double peek from the construction angle for sure. And we'll see what happens if they both go this way. Are they USP select? Hobbit's managed to find one. Maybe that will make the difference. They've got time. There are 40 seconds on the clock to have these awkward duels. And the funny thing is, the CTs could actually run out of bullets in this situation, but that will certainly help. Hobbit taken down, Olofmeister in the red, and finally Dozier will collect that bomb.
And he's going to have a safe plant as well. So at the very least, they can guarantee third round AKs at the very least, or even a funky buy in the next round to keep the pressure on. That's very important, having that bomb planted. Dozier now, it's going to feel like he's done his job just collecting that bomb and planting it. But there's still a chance to take the round here as Dozier looks to try to get this clutch going. He's got no ability to really take any shots here. Olofmeister pressuring the bomb, tapping it, trying to force Dozier out into the open. Dozier makes the first shot. Now things get dangerous here. Crims has a lot of health, but Dozier has got headshots for days. Going for the hole here. Very brave! Oh! Gambit get the round! That was so close!
That is every pistol round so far. 4 of 4 pistol rounds have gone the way of Gambit. And that's going to really make life difficult for fnatic. So close. Crims left with nothing but the hero play. Olofmeister only had 10 bullets left when they started going for those duels once the bomb had gone down. Great presence of mind from Dozier. Did not believe in the first touch of the bomb, just holding that angle. And Olofmeister went in for sacrifice. Full spy from the CTs, apart from JW. He's got 1250 in the bank. Ideally in this round, you want 1500. He's got a bit less than that. Olofmeister taking some early damage. Dozier harassing the apartment, shooting through the wall. Now, maybe you might argue on train, 1 or 2 anti-ecos, anti-force spice Gambit may have been too carried away on their T side. But they have a relaxed and measured approach for now. Some grenades from fnatic, and Gambit have got the time to wait them out.
And Mo, can he get the information? Can he get that information? Will he attempt to get the information? Certainly would be his job with that Mag-10. That said, at the same time as well, some teams do favor, and it's definitely, if you have a great grenade placement with the Molotovs, you can just carpet bomb this entire bomb site. Doesn't matter if they've stacked it, and then if you run in with SMGs, you can just clean the round up very easily. But you've got to be careful if you just go for raw peaks without the use of Molotovs. We're going to see a couple Molotovs in here, but very dangerous positions. Look at Grims go there from the flower pots. He's spotted immediately and dealt with. It's very important, and 2 players just chilling by the new box. It's not going to work out either. However, Flusher and Dennis picking up frags now make this very awkward.
Oh, Dennis getting his bell rung through the smoke. 12 HP remains, and that might make life easier. Indeed it will. Mo finishing things off, collecting an AK as well. Nice upgrade from his Mag-10. Farming cash was Mo, and there's more farming to be done. Grass looks fertile with fnatic, unable to buy much in this round. Mostly on $2,000. JW maybe AWP no helmet in the next round, the buy round. All important buy round for fnatic, but for now they have to wait. JW spending a bit extra, looking to make a play with a high explosive grenade. If he can get some good damage in, then perhaps his teammates can follow up afterwards, but it'll be minimal damage. Only Hobbit taking an L on that one.
A Mag-10's abound here for Gambit. It's always a lot of fun getting that Mag-10 into play, and 3 players just spotted by Adrent. So perhaps now that's going to absolutely cue his team to go in towards B here with a couple of players that they had around the top banana position. But there is a lurker around here, will be caught. That's JW gone. So the scariest parts of the round here are over for the Gambit Gaming side. They've got a bomb side, they've got a bomb plant. They've killed most of fnatic, looking good for that 10-8 scoreline. And the problem for fnatic, comes in the shape of maybe not having enough utility in some of these future rounds. Maybe not getting the AWP onto JW enough. Or maybe not having an economy which JW is going to be confident risking by going aggressive with the AWP. Because you don't want to make crazy plays if you don't have any security on your economy generally.
With the investment that JW made, he is unable to afford armor in this round. We saw the same from Kenny S. But it's interesting, he saved for the AWP, but he didn't save enough for Kevlar. And that can impact the positions he can take up, but maybe he already had them in mind. JW heading towards the B bomb sites. And he has this position, he will be less susceptible to grenades than if he went for something aggressive towards banana. So, if he has a particular plan in mind, he can make it work, but it is limiting without any protection from grenades. Those are lining up a smoke towards the arch position. 1 minute 20. I don't expect a fast round from Gambit, but they're already more or less in control of banana.
Yeah, it's definitely looking quite good for them here. They can set up all the grenades. JW, though, always a danger present. There's number 1 from JW. How many will he make it, though, as Russia will get challenged? Good flashbang, and Zeus making it quite awkward. JW, though, swooping in from the side. Eliminates Mo, and there's still more work to be done as he holds on to construction.
3 versus 4, the last man still rotating. Just now for fnatic, trying to force their way through construction. There's a Molotov remaining on Gambit, and that's about it. Dozier will have to dedicate himself to the flank for the time being, but there's nobody there. They're all coming in from CT. 3 players, the funnel through construction. Is it going to work out? Going for the wide peak, because one of these players, that's not going to work out for him, though. 2 versus 3, they're still checking the back, especially with Olofmeister alive. Surely he's coming in from the back, but no, they're all at the front now. Smoke's down, and the hero defuse can come in from the CT side. JW to cover, and there won't be any kills. What an absurd retake from fnatic.
That is some good counter-strike there from them. And especially JW, able to get just these kills, these cheeky frags, just repositioning, swooping around, holding angles for his team.
4K for JW.
Getting the quad kill in the rounds ultimately, and that is so important for fnatic. Now they put themselves in a position where this is a sort of make or break situation for both teams. Both economies are terrible, so whichever team wins this round, they'll be playing against Nico in the next. And as we're now playing out round 20, it starts to get even more impactful. But where will the first frag happen? We've seen Mo taking some risks here or there. He's been quite good at getting those pickoffs. Looking for JW perhaps, but JW playing it passively as well. And he will have a challenge here. A head perhaps might appear, and JW knows exactly what's going on. It's a great shot, very patient. But what do Gambit respond with?
They've got so many grenades, I don't know why they don't use some of them to clear out these angles. They'll be subject to grenades by the CT side. 5 versus 3, it's abandoned ship towards the B bomb site. What can be had towards A? In fact, the bomb will stay towards top banana for now. And the trend's making his way towards second mid perhaps, just in case fnatic have taken up some forward positions. In that previous round, it seems Gambit just wanted to employ shock to move into the B bomb site. But a simple flashbang over the roof will take out many positions.
30 seconds remain now for Gambit to find a way back into this one. JW still looking for shots, but Smoke will deny him and force some repositioning. And now Gambit looking to get in there. JW smoked off again. This is what we need to see here. Just keep JW out of the picture for long enough, and you can get the bomb site. Flushes in the back though, cause problems. Nicely done by Dozier. Finds the kill there. Adren as well comes in. All of a sudden, we're in a 3v3 off the plant. Gambit looking good.
Again, the CTs, they still have an extra man because Gambit don't know if anybody's in banana, but nobody is. JW focusing from the CT position. They're lining up for him, but he won't get a single kill. Leaving Crims. How have Gambit done this? Planting the bomb with 12 seconds. Such an awkward fight. 3 versus 5, and they all survive. 3v5 to 3v0 to Gambit. What excellent play from them. It's broken the money of fnatic, and that's got to be a massive boost for your team.
And like you were saying, you know, just using the grenades. They didn't use them in the early round, but they sure as hell used them effectively towards the end there. JW just seemingly just without a single opportunity to fire a shot off, and that was so incredibly crucial. So again, Gambit under a lot of pressure, still making sure that they're diligent and composed and doing all the things, like all the details, because sometimes in these high pressure situations, when your back's against the wall and the pace is high, it's very easy to forget the simple things, but Gambit don't, and that is ultimately why they are now 11-9 against fnatic. A fnatic without any money. Is this now the sprint for Gambit, the last bit of momentum they need to bring this to a close, James?
Still time for fnatic to get some momentum, but they'll have to wait. It is a USP round for the Swedish side. Their money's not in the right place. So we'll see what the anti-eco looks like for Gambit. 4 players of AKs, full grenades. Hopefully this time they'll use them a bit more. CT's making their way into the apartments late on when they don't expect somebody peeking, but see Dozier has a nice angle. When you're deep in this corner where Dozier is now, it's harder to see the balcony. The new balcony is more obscures your vision more than the old balcony did. So it's harder to be as effective. Your spray needs to be on point. Hobbit taken down by USP, but surely Gambit can clean this up.
Yeah, once again, you just look for some good usage of their utility, and they should be fine in this position. Obviously, Hobbit's AK not too recoverable here for fnatic, and that's something that Gambit can be happy about, that's for sure. As Zeus looks to try to get information here towards the arch side. Oh, so scary, isn't it? He doesn't really have any teammates too close to him to go for trades, but he does have Dozier in the A site, and it looks like everything will be fine from this position forwards.
That's so curious, because he had 2 players next to him, You can see Dennis has not been checked out. Still time to clear this up, but Zeus had two players top mid next to him. When he stood on the initial corner, somebody shot at him from Arch. He knows that he could be walking into a setup, but still they don't have any grenades there. Just walks in. You know, he gets more. When you see the player towards the site near library, gets even more hairy, but just walks into it without the grenades regardless. I mean, what if he goes down there? What happens then? I think the element of surprise perhaps is what he was playing on. Either way, it's a 3-round lead for Gambit. fnatic back on the buy, but look at the buy. Crims on the MP9, Olaf Meister with a French gun. And they've not had much success in this tournament.
Yep, very true. Very true, and it's going to be interesting to see, you know, fnatic can do much with so little grenades, and whether Gambit will play a slow rounds, try to bait out those grenades, because if they're able to do so, it gets really difficult for fnatic, and Gambit can, you know, play with all the advantages, and that's going to be very comfortable for them. So one would expect fnatic to be looking for any bit of information, to go for some intuitive play, just find a way to get an advantage before Gambit close in on the wrong side. Dennis, unable to get any advantages, will miss the shot. Hard one to hit indeed, and Gambit edge ever closer. They've got top middle now, and they can still go B as well. There's a minute to play with, so fnatic not jumping the gun just yet.
Hobbits went all the way back to bottom mid with the bomb to see if anybody was banana. They have no map control, no possession there. If he gets picked off, what happens? There's 4 of his teammates towards top mid, so I don't know why the bomb isn't left with one of those or left around that middle area. He's the one taking the risks at the moment, but fortunately for them, that isn't the case. The CT start running in with the kills. 30 seconds remain for Gambit to try and turn this around again. 3 versus 5. They've done it before. Can they do it again?
Yeah, it's a really tough spot. They're walking into a setup. fnatic looking really comfortable here to hit the shots. They don't need the grenades when they have these crossfires to go to play with. And there's Hobbit. He's gone. He's now down to Dozier in this position. And there it is. A trio of defenders arrive onto the scene for fnatic. Gambit, they were perhaps a bit too indecisive, James, indeed, with the bomb down there and at the T-slope and all.
Yeah, it's curious. Gambit can buy again. They've got a 2-round cushion, but that cushion may continue to get more uncomfortable if things do not go their way. fnatic on the comeback trail. Again, fnatic a map down at the moment. Double orbs now for the CT side. JW joining the fray. He'll be over towards the B bomb site for the time being, and Dennis will continue on short. Was on long previously, so again, the fnatic mixing up the locations of their snipers. Dennis will concentrate on a peek from Boiler, which may be inevitable, while Olaf Meister will keep eyes on top mid. Some good team play. Here comes the Trent. Will he walk straight into it? Could be a nasty surprise for him. There's a grenade towards short, but is there a flash?
The focus from Dennis, finally forced to look away, instantly taking the angle back again. So much focus as he waits patiently. It's always hard with the cold angles when there's just nothing going on. Gambit really running the clock down at the moment. A minute left to play with, and they're just holding their grounds, setting up smokes. fnatic just waiting so patiently, going to rely upon playing very passively.
I think Dennis moved back in case there was an apartment play. Might get pinched in the short position. Does have a player in pit, but they can have a stronger defense elsewhere. And again, fnatic forced back from top mid, which means minimal information. And now Dennis is towards that arch area. Gambit starting to execute. All the team are here. Zeus making his way through arch. Will he go through the smoke though? That could be the hero blade for the side. He needs to come in hard. Could be 2 teammates right now. It's not fast enough, but he goes back. And it works out for him. 2 versus 2 on the B bomb side, with the 3rd man rotating from B for the CTs.
Hero and Zeus. Now the bomb can go down, and JW looking for that first shot as he just rounds the corner with that AWP. Dozier comes in from above. That's so important. Zeus now alone in 1 versus 2. There's one. There's one more to deal with though. Flusher pushing his position, trying to bait the shot, trying to go